For this glazing demo, I'm going to show you how to prep your container so that the glaze does not cause the cover to stick to the base. So I'm going to take my container. I have two different covers here. I have one with the flange on the actual cover, so I need to wax the flange as well as the interior of my teapot, just at the opening. And then on the left here, I have a container that sits in the container where it kind of comes up the edge and the flange, or also known as a gallery, comes out. So I need to wax the underside of the cover as well as the sides and the interior where it sits. So I'm going to take my wax resist. I tried something a little bit different. It does work, but it does involve a little bit more cleanup. Honestly, if you're not really sure, I would just go for waxing it with a brush, but you could try this. So I've just taken a plastic plate, I poured the wax resist into the plate, and then just kind of set the cover into it, because I know I want it to go up the inside and around the outside a little bit. But the problem is it does add much more wax resist than you actually need, so then you have issues with dripping and it moving, and you got a lot more cleanup. So you can wash the wax resist off if you get it right away, but if you let it sit at all, that's where the wax resist is. It will stay, it will not come off. So I have to clean it up. So I ended up deciding a little bit later just to brush the wax resist up to the decoration line that I have on the cover, just so kind of clean up that mess that I made. So like I said, this is an option. I wouldn't say it's the best option, it's just something I tried and it works, but as you can tell, it's kind of drippy. So I gotta clean that up. Yeah. So the whole point of the wax resist is to have that nice clean line, and this is making it not as effective as it could be. But I have nice straight lines overall, so take your pick. Alright, so there's that cover. For the other cover, I'm just going to brush it on, so I have to brush on anywhere where it's going to touch the container base. So I have to put it on the right underside of the cover as well as the sides of the flange that would be facing out and touching that side. So basically anywhere ceramic touches ceramic you need to wax, otherwise the glaze will act like a glue in the kiln because they'll melt together and it will no longer be a container that will open. So waxing my flange. Alright, so now I'm going to do the interior of the piece on the left. So my cover will sit within this area, so I need to make sure that I've covered this completely in wax. So again, anywhere that the cover will possibly touch, I want to wax. Now, when it does get fired, it will stick a little bit, which is normal just because the clay does shrink again through the glaze fire, but overall it should be pretty effective. Because again, you want your cover to shrink at the same rate as your base piece, so they'll fit together nicely. So being very careful, just like when I was showing you how to wax the base of your piece, trying to maintain a nice straight fluid line. So less brushy strokes the better. Alright, so now I'm going to wax the inside here. And I do have to wax the top because the cover will sit on top, so I don't want to forget about that and then have it wax. Even if there's glaze just on one side, that will still cause it to stick because the wax resist will burn out through the firing and that glaze will stick to the base of your piece then. So I'm being extra careful with that, making sure that I have a nice straight line. You might want to even see how far your cover goes over. So even if it goes over just a little bit and there's just a little bit of glaze, those couple little marks will still cause it to stick and fuse together. So be very, very sure what you're doing. Then I'm going to do the inside as well, because the flange will touch that area. Now I know these are wheel thrown pieces. Doesn't matter if it's wheel throwing, hand building, the concept is still the same when it comes to containers. As a reminder too, when you actually glaze these pieces, don't forget to wipe off with a sponge or a wet brush where your wax resist is, even if there's little beads of glaze, because that will still cause it to stick. Alright, so before I am done with this, and while those are drying, I need to put the wax resist back into the container, so I just have a funnel. I'm going to pour the rest of the wax resist into my gallon bucket. If you are doing it this way, make sure you ask me for the plate as well as for the funnel. Like I said, it's honestly easier just to brush it on, but that's an alternative for you if you have a really strange cover. Alright, make sure you wash those with soap and water and give them back to me. Happy glazing!